Great to have joining us today a woman who has written a series of books that has really done well, and this is another one in her series of Alexander Cooper mystery thrillers. It is called Killer Look. We're joined today by the New York Times bestselling author Linda Fairstein from up in, I believe, New Jersey today. And Linda, good to talk with you. How are you?
Fine, thank you very well, Doug. Thanks for having me.
Actually, you're in New York City, right?
That's right.
New York, in my hometown area. Grew up in Long Island. How are things up there today?
Oh, I spent the weekend on Long Island selling books from one end to the other.
Yeah, that's a good place to be this time of year, particularly out in the Hamptons. That's where you want to be in August, right?
Yes, I got out there. I started in Huntington, sailed out there.
Well, first of all, congratulations again on the series of books with Alexandra Cooper as your lead character, and 18. That's an impressive number.
When I look back, it really is. I kind of don't know where that time went, but. Yes, I love writing, and it's great fun. I like series fiction, crime fiction in particular. Love the characters that you become attached to, so I pinch myself that that's what I set out to do, and 18 books in, here I am.
I guess you don't sit down when you first write your first book to say, I'm going to write one character this long, but I guess that character kind of grows within you, and you just keep coming up with different stories, right?
Absolutely. The difference is that she was 35 17 books ago when the series started, and she's 38 now, and I only aged her 3 years while I was doing the real-time stuff myself, so I wish I could control that as I control it with her.
Now, this book takes place, again, talking about New York, during Fashion Week, which is one of the big weeks in New York every year, and a murder I don't want to give too much away, but kind of give a little capsule of what happens and how she's involved again.
Sure. Without being a spoiler, the victim in this case, already dead when the book starts, is an executive, a businessman who created a huge fashion empire. You can think, although I wish them well and good health, you can think of Ralph Lauren or Calvin Klein or some of the big names in fashion over the years. So he's built that kind of empire from scratch, by himself, for himself, surrounded by family members. I really wanted to get into this world. I understand, since it is a $4 trillion, that's T as in Thomas, business globally a year, that I knew there would be motives, if I could kind of scratch them out, reasons for people to be envious of one another, with greed. So I knew that there would be reasons to kill. That is a very glamorous on the outside business, and on the inside there's a lot of cutthroat competition. So that's the world I take Coop and my characters into.
Yeah, growing up in New York, I didn't know a lot about it, but you always heard about it every year when it happened, and just the whole New York fashion scene in general. I can imagine how competitive it is. Brutal competition, right?
Yes, exactly. And I've never been an insider, but like a kid, had my nose pressed against the windows, never been to one of those big shows, so I started to do research for this, and it is, an entire other universe within the city. So really fun for me to try and get behind the scenes and make the murder plausible.
How do you do research in the industry? Just call up some people that put fashion out, or how do you do it?
Well, I have a really, really good friend of 25 years who ran the Council of Fashion Designers of America. Some of your listeners would know her from TV shows she's done. Her name is Fern Malice, and I emailed her. I said, can I buy you lunch? I'm going to kill somebody in your business, and I want to know if that makes any sense. And we had lunch. I took a notebook with me, as I always do. By the time the meal was served, I had expressions, I had motives, I had a really bird's eye view of what many of the problems were created by the intensity of this worldwide industry, the pressures and the high stakes of it because of the enormous amounts of money that are at risk. So Fern was my first bit of real research, and then she opened a lot of doors for me in the business and made introductions to get me inside and do interviews, which is always a lot of the fun of writing.
And Alexandra Cooper comes off of kind of a tough situation in a previous adventure, right? Wasn't she kidnapped?
Yeah, my poor alter ego was kidnapped in the 17th book, Devil's Bridge. She's the protagonist in the series, so I think even my most loyal readers knew she was going to come out alive. But damaged, she's a victim, and Killer Look starts, this book starts just 3 weeks after she gets out of Jeopardy, and so it was interesting because I got to look at her in a different way, which is a nice stretch after you've been writing a character for a period of time. She was more fragile because of what she experienced, likened to what she's been dealing with victims for so long, but she's been the strong one, and now she isn't. She's not able to work. She's on a leave of absence because she's so stressed out and fragile. And Mike Chapman, the homicide detective, is really trying to get her back in the game, as he says, and back on her feet.
Yeah, suffering from PTSD, right? She goes through all that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes. Yeah.
It's a whole new dimension of the character.
Expected. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Do you think like her now? I guess you must, right? I mean, you're right, but you start to think like her?
I think she thinks like me. She thinks like me. I started first. Yeah, it's. She's been inside my head for so long. I created her. She's not personally like me, and she's got a trust fund I didn't have, and younger, thinner, blonder, as I like to quip. But she is professionally very, very much mirrors my passions for the work and the things that interested me and kept me there doing work for so long. So when I created her, I very much gave her my thoughts about the work. So yeah, she continues to think like me, and then this time I did have to turn it around and put myself in her shoes. Never been kidnapped, never been the victim of a violent crime. So yeah, she probably taught me more this time than I gave her.
I should mention Linda was the chief of the Sex Crimes Unit, the District Attorney's Office in Manhattan for about 20 years, so you had a lot of experience dealing with, unfortunately, murders and assaults, but that adds to your books. You can use that knowledge, right, for your murders.
Yes. I grew up wanting to write all those high school yearbooks would say, ambition, question mark, and mine were always writer. And my father used to say, you have nothing to write about, get a career. So I went to law school. I wanted to do public service, wound up in the DA's office, and really it's given me such, not only the rich rewards of doing public service and the work that I did, but now it's just the whole base for my career as a novelist.
Yeah, great background to have. And the name of the newest book, again, called Killer Look, the 18th in the series of Alexandra Cooper novels. And Linda, give out your website again. People get more information. I'm sure they already know where to look, but give it out anyway.
That's great. Thank you, Doug, LindaFairstein.com. I've got a very active, lively Facebook page and tweet and all that stuff. So I hope your listeners will look for me and look for the book.
Great. Linda, pleasure talking to you, and please keep in touch with us. Love to have you on when the 19th book comes out. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. See you next year. Thanks, Doug.
I'm Stan Brock. 30 years ago, I formed Remote Area Medical to help people overseas. But then we found generations of families in America, isolated by poverty from the health care they need. Together, we can take dental, vision, and medical help to 1 million adults and their kids, right here at home in the United States of America.
If you'd like to order the book we're talking about, please go to DougMilesMedia.com and enter the author's name in the Amazon search box. Thank you for listening. Please come back soon for more conversations here at DougMilesMedia.com. This has been a presentation of Doug Miles Media, all rights reserved. You can listen to or download previous programs at iTunes, Stitcher.com, or DougMilesMedia.com.